A ship is safe in harbor, but that's not what ships are for. Shallow men believe in luck or in circumstance. Strong men believe in cause and effect. Be brave. Take risks. Nothing can substitute experience. Anyone can give up. It is the easiest thing in the world to do. But to hold it together when everyone would expect you to fall apart, now that is true strength. Don't be afraid of your fears. They're not there to scare you. They're there to let you know that something is worth it. Believe, and act as if it were impossible to fail. Creativity requires the courage to let go of certainties. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the assessment that something else is more important than fear. You cannot swim for new horizons until you have courage to lose sight of the shore. The secret of happiness is freedom. The secret of freedom is courage. Clear thinking requires courage rather than intelligence. Courage isn't having the strength to go on. It is going on when you don't have strength. Those who dare to fail miserably can achieve greatly. Everyone has talent. What is rare is the courage to follow the talent to the dark place where it leads. Take chances. Make mistakes. That's how you grow. Pain nourishes your courage. You have to fail in order to practice being brave. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes courage is the little voice at the end of the day that says, "I'll try again tomorrow." Extraordinary people survive under the most terrible circumstances, and they become more extraordinary because of it. I don't focus on what I'm up against. I focus on my goals, and I try to ignore the rest. Live out of your imagination, not your history. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Scared is what you're feeling. Brave is what you're doing. It takes a lot of courage to show your dreams to someone else. Without fear, there cannot be courage. Develop an attitude of gratitude and give thanks for everything that happens to you, knowing that every step forward is a step toward achieving something bigger and better than your current situation. Freedom lies in being bold. The key to success is for you to make a habit throughout your life of doing the things you fear. Courage is grace under pressure. Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life. When I'm old and dying, I plan to look back on my life and say, "Wow, that was an adventure." Not, "Wow, I sure felt safe." Being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. Accept the challenges so that you can feel the exhilaration of victory. A man with outward courage dares to die. A man with inner courage dares to live. Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear. Courage is never to let your actions be influenced by your fears. The most courageous act is still to think for yourself, aloud. If you could get up the courage to begin, you have the courage to succeed. You've got to follow your passion. You've got to figure out what it is you love, who you really are, and have the courage to do that. I believe that the only courage anybody ever needs is the courage to follow your own dreams. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. With enough courage, you can do without a reputation. Life shrinks or expands in proportion to one's courage. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Courage is found in unlikely places. It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to our enemies, but just as much to stand up to our friends. Do not fear mistakes. You will know failure. Continue to reach out. Fearlessness is like a muscle. I know from my own life that the more I exercise it, the more natural it becomes to not let my fears run me. The man who goes farthest is generally the one who is willing to do and dare. The sure thing boat never gets far from shore. The bravest are surely those who have the clearest vision of what is before them, glory and danger alike, and yet notwithstanding go out to meet it. How few there are who have courage enough to own their faults, or resolution enough to mend them. It takes as much courage to have tried and failed as it does to have tried and succeeded. Have courage for the great sorrows of life and patience for the small ones. And when you have laboriously accomplished your daily task, go to sleep in peace. Courage, a perfect sensibility of the measure of danger, and a mental willingness to endure it. Courage is like love. It must have hope for nourishment. Above all, we must realize that no arsenal or no weapon in the arsenals of the world is so formidable as the will and moral courage of free men and women. It is a weapon our adversaries in today's world do not have. If it scares you, it might be a good thing to try. Fear doesn't exist anywhere except in the mind. Fortune favors the brave. Good timber does not grow with ease. The stronger the wind, the stronger the trees. Have the courage to act instead of react. Be courageous. It's one of the only places left uncrowded. One must from time to time attempt things that are beyond one's capacity. Discipline is built by consistently performing small acts of courage. All you need is the plan, the roadmap, and the courage to press on to your destination. He who moves not forward goes backward. There's plenty of intelligence in the world, but the courage to do things differently is in short supply. It is never safe to look into the future with eyes of fear. Courage means going against majority opinion in the name of the truth. Even in a world that's being shipwrecked, remain brave and strong. Optimism is the foundation of courage. Bravery is the solution to regret. If you're willing to put yourself and your dreams on the line, at the very least you'll discover an inner strength you may not have known existed. Those who lack the courage will always find a philosophy to justify it. You can't catch the big fish by skimming the surface. In life, you can either follow your fears or be led by your values, by your passions. The difference between getting somewhere and nowhere is the courage to make an early start. The fellow who sits still and does just what he is told will never be told to do big things. Leaps of innovation require a bravery that borders on absurdity. Vulnerability is our most accurate measurement of courage. It is only when we are no longer fearful that we begin to create. I've seen extreme bravery from the least likely of people. Life is about the moments when it's all gone wrong. That's when we define ourselves. Part of courage is simple consistency. It's when you run away that you're most liable to stumble. Either life entails courage, or it ceases to be life. Sometimes it takes courage to give in to temptation. Courage isn't absent of fear. It is the awareness that something else is important. The world is in a constant conspiracy against the brave. The world is in a constant conspiracy against the brave. It's the age-old struggle, the roar of the crowd on the one side, and the voice of your conscience on the other. You can't test courage cautiously. It takes courage to be creative. Just as soon as you have a new idea, you are in a minority of one. The block of granite, which was an obstacle in the pathway of the weak, became a stepping stone in the pathway of the strong. Make voyages. Attempt them. There's nothing else. Courage is fear holding on a minute longer. It takes someone with a vision of the possibilities to attain new levels of experience. Someone with the courage to live his dreams. It is from numberless diverse acts of courage and belief that human history is shaped. Courage is rightly considered the foremost of the virtues, for upon it all others depend. A great deal of talent is lost to the world for want of a little courage.